what was your exam attempting strategy? How many questions you used to attempt in the phase 1 exam?
Ma'am, I usually attempt 95 plus. I think this year also I attempted 96 or 97
This
out of
is
100 merit section.
merit section. Out
Yeah.
of 100, you used to attempt 95, 96 questions.
हाँ.
Okay. So, आपको वो सारे questions आते होते थे या कुछ guess work भी होता था? So, hello everyone. यूजुअली जब भी हमारे यहाँ कोई टॉपर आते हैं तो हम उनको इंट्रोड्यूस ऐसे करते हैं कि मीट ये हमारे स्टूडेंट हैं, बट निखिल सर का जो आज इंट्रोडक्शन है वो एज ए स्टूडेंट नहीं है. स्टूडेंट तो ये हमारे हैं ही हैं, बट मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली ये हमारे कलीग रह चुके हैं. सो ही वॉज अ पार्ट ऑफ EduTap फैमिली और ये एज एन इकोनॉमिक्स एजुकेटर यहाँ पे वर्क किया करते थे. एंड टुडे ही हैज़ फाइनली क्लियर्ड द NABARD Grade A एग्जामिनेशन. सो many congratulations सर. सो आई डोंट नो कि डिस्पाइट वर्किंग टुगेदर कि कितने लोग सर की जर्नी को जानते हैं, बट इट वाज अ वेरी लॉन्ग जर्नी. काफ़ी ज़्यादा उतार चढ़ाव थे. सर बहुत से एग्जाम्स में इंटरव्यू स्टेज तक, मेन स्टेज तक पहुँचे हैं, बट स्टिल जो एक राइट माइंडसेट की डेफिनेशन होती है, इट इज़ स्टैंडिंग राइट इन फ्रंट ऑफ अस राइट नाउ. तो किस तरीके से अपने आप को हर एक फेलियर के बाद दोबारा से पिकअप करना, दोबारा से एग्ज़ाम को देना, और एग्ज़ाम को भी इस तरीके से देना कि आप मल्टीपल एग्जाम्स को एक साथ केटर कर पा रहे हो. ये सारी चीज़ें जो हैं वो सर की जर्नी में थी, जो अभी हम पूरे डिटेल सेशन में भी देखेंगे. बट राइट नाउ I welcome you here, sir.
Thank you so much.
And as a token of appreciation, we have this certificate of achievement. So I would request you कि आप please इसे यहाँ wall of fame पे लगा दीजिए. And along with that, a small gift for you and a Achievers badge also for you.
Thank you.
तो जब सर यहाँ पे जॉब किया करते थे तो आई एम श्योर आप सब लोगों ने सर से बहुत से क्वेश्चंस पूछे होंगे, बहुत सारी आपकी बात हुई होगी. बट अब जब सर एक सेलेक्टेड कैंडिडेट की तरह हमारे पास हैं, तो अब अगर आपके पास इनके लिए कुछ डिफरेंट सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस हैं, सो यू आर मोस्ट वेलकम टू आस्क देम, स्पेशली जलित सर यू.
वो डिसीजन लेना कितना मुश्किल था कि जॉब छोड़ के जाए, क्योंकि काफी लोग यहाँ पर ऐसे हैं जो मतलब उनके एस्पिरेशन है एग्जाम निकालना भी, जॉब में भी एक्सेल करना, दोनों काम कर रहे हैं लेकिन कुछ भी ढंग से नहीं हो रहा है. ठीक है, मतलब फंसे पड़े हैं. तो आपके लिए वो डिसीजन लेना कितना मुश्किल था कि अब मैं ना काम छोड़ता हूँ, इसकी तैयारी ही करता हूँ, और कैसी कंडीशन आपने फिर उसके लिए जो है अपनी बिल्ड करी ताकि आपका रिजल्ट पॉजिटिव हो?
ओके सर, जैसे टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन, मेरे माइंड में ये क्लियर था कि मुझे यही करना है. आई वांटेड टू डू समथिंग इन द गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर वगैरह. तो फॉर मी इट वाजंट दैट डिफिकल्ट डिसीजन. जब मैं यहाँ पे काम कर रहा था, कहीं ना कहीं वो मैनेज कर रहा था मैं वर्क और तैयारी. लेकिन जब एंड टाइम आया, आई थॉट दैट इट वाज एन ईजी डिसीजन फॉर मी, नॉट अ डिफिकल्ट डिसीजन, कि वर्क इज़ नॉट दैट मच प्रायोरिटी. मतलब मेरे लिए वो सिक्योर करना ज़्यादा था. तो हाँ जी, वही है. हाँ.
You have a journey of 9 years.
Okay.
Right. What are the key learnings which you draw from it?
Okay. जैसे it was a very rich experience. जो है, you know, there is a Japanese saying wherein they say that if you don't come across a crisis that will become difficult to endure in life, you must pay for those experiences, because wisdom doesn't come to you with birth or age, it comes from those experiences. So it was a very rich experiences. जो knowledge accumulation तो हुआ ही, but I have learned the virtues of patience, resilience, which I can't learn from any textbook. These are learned from real life experiences. I think these are the virtues that has really shaped my personality.
How you are feeling different being in India and now being a success story?
No, I don't feel any difference. It is just you people are creating that difference. For me, it is the same.
I have one question for you.
Yes.
When you left the organization, okay, and now after coming back after 2 years, what's the biggest change in you?
Biggest change in me, like I would put it this way, you know, after leaving this organization, ever since I was working here, you know, it has helped me in building my knowledge, you know, accumulating vast amount of knowledge, but I did not work on my personal front. Once I left this organization, I've started doing yoga and I've started working on myself. I think which is the biggest learning, as Aristotle quotes, you know, the self-learning is the biggest learning. So I think that started and that is the biggest change. after coming.
सर आपने सारी प्रिपरेशन यहाँ पे की है. आफ्टर लीविंग द जॉब जनरली होता है कि घर जाऊँगा तैयारी करूँगा, बट आपने 2 साल पूरे यहीं पे आपने जितने भी एग्जाम दिए हैं यहीं पे रह के आपने प्रिपरेशन. मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि हाउ स्ट्रॉन्ग वाज दैट डिसीजन, बिकॉज आप घर जा सकते थे, घर को भी छोड़ा, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भी छोड़ी, फिर भी आपने यहीं पे प्रिपरेशन की. तो
मेजर जैसे मैं अभी एग्ज़ाम निकाला, घर पे भी किसी को नहीं पता था कि मैं एग्ज़ाम की तैयारी कर रहा हूँ. सभी को यही पता था कि मैं जॉब कर रहा हूँ. सिर्फ माय फादर was a crucial pillar in me reaching here. तो उन्हें बताना ही नहीं था. एंड द बेस्ट डिसीजन नॉट टू गो टू दिल्ली, ये बेस्ट प्लेस ही था, इसलिए मैं यहीं पे कंटिन्यू किया. एंड अभी भी एज आई मेंशनड आई वाज डूइंग योगा. अभी मैं छोड़ के जा रहा हूँ इस सिटी को, तो आई स्टिल फील कि मैं योगा नहीं कर पाऊंगा इन दैट स्टूडियो. सो गिवन अ चॉइस आई वुड स्टिल कम बैक एंड स्टे इन द सेम प्लेस चंडीगढ़.
आपने अभी काम भी किया,
हाँ जी,
आपने कंटेंट भी बनाया,
हाँ जी.
तो कुछ इम्प्रूवमेंट्स है क्या बताना चाहोगे अभी तक कि भाई इस तरीके से और बेटर चीज़ हो सकती है, क्योंकि अब आप जुड़े हुए नहीं हो हमारे साथ.
हाँ जी.
कुछ इम्प्रूवमेंट अगर आप शेयर करना चाहो.
Sir, जैसे coming to that question, the word EduTap, if you look at the spirit behind it, as Deepak sir was telling, there was a ship architect. वो ship पूरा बन गया था, लेकिन वो ship चल नहीं रही थी. Then came an engineer who just tapped at the right place. Then that tapping of the ship helped it function or sail smoothly. I think वो आप इतना बल्कि कंटेंट बना रहे हो, कहीं ना कहीं the students feel that they are not able to just tap on to that कंटेंट. जो एग्जाम का नेचर भी इवॉल्व हो रहा है. आई थिंक वो बल्कि नेचर को छोड़ के इफ़ यू आर एबल टू जस्ट केटर द डिमांड ऑफ द एग्जाम, दैट इज समथिंग बट विच इज ऑल्सो अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट टास्क. बट यू नो दिस इज द ओनली सजेशन दैट आई कैन गिव टू EduTap, नॉट टू एनी अदर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, बिकॉज इट कीप्स अ वेरी हाई बेंचमार्क्स फॉर इटसेल्फ. एंड यू आर
Any other question if you have?
हाँ जी.
थोड़ा सा सम अप कर सकते हो, जैसे मतलब क्या कौन से आपने एग्जाम दिए, कैसे कैसे करा.
हाँ जी. जैसे स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम मैंने RBI के 3 मतलब RBI का दिया, सेबी का दिया, NABARD का दिया, सिविल सर्विसेज में सिविल सर्विसेज का दिया, इंडियन फॉरेस्ट सर्विसेज का दिया, स्टेट सर्विस का दिया, झारखंड PCS का दिया. आई मीन बहुत सारे एग्ज़ाम दिए हैं. मुझे नहीं लगता आई हैव लेफ्ट एनी अदर एग्ज़ाम. हाँ, तो दैट इज द थिंग.
All right, so now we can proceed for the actual interview.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. So through my experience of writing exams, failing in them, clearing some of them, and now today as a mentor guiding a lot of aspirants, I have realized that no matter what exam you are targeting, to clear any exam, be it government exam or something related to your higher studies, there are 3 key requirements. The first one is the right mindset, the second is right guidance or the right mentorship, and the third important thing is right preparation. So before you start doing the preparation, the 2 more important things are the right mindset and the right guidance which you have, right? So today I have someone with me, Mr. Nikhil. So he is the living body or the living example of what right mindset looks like. His journey, it has been a long journey. Went through a lot of ups and downs, reached till interview of a lot of exams, main stage of lot of exams, failed in them, again picked himself up and then again wrote the exam, and now today he has successfully cleared the NABARD Grade A exam. So his story is that of right mindset, not just of preparation but how to approach the studies, how to approach the exam paper. So the right mindset and also the right guidance, what to study, what not to study, what are the sources you have to follow if you have a limited amount of time, and then of course the right preparation, because he has put in a lot of effort. So let's begin the session and let's dwell a lot deep into what was his mindset, his mentorship, and what was the preparation which made him what he is today. So welcome, Nikhil.
Thank you, ma'am.
So before I start your interview, I would like you to tell us about the journey.
Okay.
Because your journey, it was a 9-year long journey where you have written more than 50 exams. So what was this journey like?
Okay. As I have mentioned, I graduated as a mechanical engineer from NIT ke Surathkal in 2016. Since then, I have been preparing, and today I have successfully cleared one particular examination, that is NABARD Grade A.
And what about all the other exams that you have given? उनके
Okay.
बारे में भी बताइए जो आपकी 9 साल की लंबी जर्नी रही है.
जैसे एग्ज़ाम्स आई हैव रिटन ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द एग्ज़ाम्स स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विसेज, यूपीएससी फॉरेस्ट सर्विसेज मेंस एग्जामिनेशन, then RBI, NABARD, SEBI, then apart from that my state services, Karnataka PCS examination, RISTIL interviews,
Sorry, I'm interfering in between, but you have to tell the viewers in detail how many times you have given the RBI, till which stage you have reached,
Okay.
so that they can get an idea of what was your level of dedication and
Okay.
how you have successfully reached till last stages of these exams.
Sure, ma'am. I started from 2016. So I gave my first exam, that is of UPSC prelims, in 2017, 18 and 19. In 3 successive examinations of UPSC, I could not clear UPSC prelims exam. And simultaneously in 2017, I wrote my first Karnataka PCS exam, cleared prelims, wrote mains, then reached till interview in 2019. I did not make it to the final list. Then in 2018, 19 and 2021, RBI, I have written 3 consecutive mains. Then in 2021, when the pattern changed to descriptive, I missed out the mains examination cutoff by 1.5 mark. And in 2021, I wrote SEBI grade A examination. I reached till interview stage and missed the final cutoff by 1.26 marks. Then post that, I also worked at EduTap. Post my SEBI setback, I joined EduTap as an educator. Then I've been working then here in EduTap. Then I resigned officially in December 2023. Then post that, I appeared for Indian Forest Services, Indian Civil Services examination 23-24. I also appeared in my state service examination last year. The mains is yet to happen regarding the KPSC, Karnataka Public Service Commission examination, and I have appeared for NABARD and cleared the examination.
Okay, so you must have realized that what a long journey it was. Of course, not a very smooth one. So now what does it feel like to finally reach a successful position?
And definitely it feels better. As you already mentioned about mindset, when I was approaching this interview as well, I was not desperate to clear it. I will just do my best, because the one learning that I have learned over the long journey is only the efforts and the preparation is in your control, results is not in your control. So I was still prepared that I'll keep giving the exam, results if it happens, well and good. But once I clear, the people around me, the family and all the people who know me, I see they are very happy. So there is a huge feeling, or that that feeling of happiness is very much visible. And when it comes to my case, I'm relieved that but I was not desperate, as I mentioned.
Yeah. Okay. And now I want to ask you a very important question here, because yours was a long journey. And in the beginning also you told me that it was the experience which mattered. So through this experience of 9 long years, what are the 9 key learnings which you have learned? Okay. If you have to tell.
Yeah, sure. The first learning, as I would tell ma'am, the first is that is having prepared for various exams, that is take it civil services, forest services, RBI, NABARD, SEBI. So the knowledge, academic knowledge with regard to those, it has increased. The second is the virtues of patience. If I look at myself, a younger version of Nikhil in 2016, I was very desperate that in very first attempt I would clear UPSC civil service examination and become IS or something. But over a period of years, I have learned that you have to be patient. Then this is a virtue which I think is the greatest learning, which won't be learned in any textbooks. Only experience will teach you the virtues of patience, perseverance. If you were to break down the word perseverance, it comprises of 2 components, that is persistence plus courage. Then apart from that, I also the first learning was knowledge, ma'am. Second is the virtues. The third is I have discovered myself in this entire journey, like what are my interests, what I really like to do. So self discovery has happened. And apart from that, so the biggest learning is, after clearing this exam also, I would not overplay the fact that I am the best or I am more learned than other people. There are many other people whom I personally know, just luck is not favoring them. And neither would I underplay that I did not work hard. I did work hard. So I always I now recognize the element of luck, which always is needed in, be it in any source of examination or be it in any other venture endeavors of your life. so for example, if you take any startup, a person is trying to set up one startup, and suddenly in another part of India, another person with the same startup has successfully, accomplished that idea, and it is become financially viable. Then this person who has already who's also putting efforts, that takes a backseat. So the idea is, I realize the element of luck, which is definitely needed in order to clear these exams. So I would only say that, you just have to keep going on, and when the time is right, do not bother about the results. They will happen at their own time. You have to just keep doing your duty, that is work on your preparation, and what your lacunae are there, you try to fill them. And other learnings are, ma'am, that I discovered myself. Then the fun more is, I was, when I could not clear 2017, 18, 19 prelims of UPSC, there was a element of fear that was ingrained in me with regard to UPSC exam. And anyone who used to say that I cleared UPSC prelims, I used to see them in high regard, because that element of fear was there. My confidence had hit rock bottom. Then, when I started appearing for UPSC back in 2023, when I was able to clear forest service also. Last year I missed out on forest services, but now I'm able to manage to clear civil services pre with certain amount of comfort. So what I was able to do was overcome my fear. I think I feel liberated now with regard to that context. The major learning is, I unlearned so many things and relearned, and I have kept on improvising with regard to many things. So these are few of the learnings.
Yeah, it's 5, not 9.
Okay, 5.
I was counting, but it's okay.
Okay.
We'll take the other learnings from the content part, from the
Sure.
study part, from the preparation part. But there is one question I want to ask you here, and I hope that other aspirants are also having this thing in their mind, that sometimes it seems easier said than done when we say that don't feel desperate, overcome your fears, right?
Yeah.
You should give your best. But as we keep on giving the exam after exam, we keep on failing as our age keeps on growing, especially if you are the elder child of your family. So there do happens this anxiety thing do happens to us, that you sometimes feels very low, you feel underconfident, you are not able to meet your friends, your family members, you start avoiding going to the social functions. So how do you actually did that? Does that ever happen to you, that you felt that okay, I'm not able to do it, that fear actually grasped you very tightly, and then you overcame it? If yes, then how did you overcome that?
Yes, ma'am. As a human being, everyone is vulnerable at some point of the other time. So these all feelings are very natural. So these also happened to me. So here I would like to mention, once I started preparing, as an athlete, if I were to bring an analogy, so people who are into athlete or any other sports, so they have a particular goal. They just want to achieve it, and when they get immersed into it, they don't know, but things are happening automatically. So somewhat like that in my journey also. When I started preparing, so subconsciously things just happen. I never overthought much, but over the past, like when already 6-7 years passed, and since last 2 years I was working full time, I was preparing full time. So here I would like to mention that I've been practicing yoga, and it has been really great. I mean, it has done a magical effect on me. It has kept me in the right mental space. So in yoga we just focus on breathing, so I am alive here. That is good enough thing for me to celebrate. So whatever is my duty, I'll keep doing it. Rest of the things are not in my control. So the yoga has been really a game changer in last few years of my preparation. So that was the mindset that I had.
Okay.
Just do my part.
So, from your mindset journey, there is one very important learning, the
Yeah.
sixth learning we can
Okay.
call it, that simply by going through the motivational videos or this video, that video, you just cannot achieve anything. Even if you are going through the fear or the phase of anxiety, you have to take the action. You might not study at that period of time, but to overcome that fear also, to overcome that anxiety also, you have to take some action. It can be your hobby, pursuing like the way you did, pursuing yoga, or you can get any job so that you can have that financial stability or independence. So whatever you might think can be the right action for you, you can take that. But simply overthinking the same scenario and sitting won't happen. You have to take the action. You have to put your best foot forward.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
So here I would like to mention, see, emotional intelligence throughout the journey, it is not your academic intelligence. You are obviously, many students are talented, more talented than me, and there are many who will come up in future as well. So this journey demands, it builds your emotional intelligence, or rather it builds your character. That how you are able to endure those crisis times when you are putting in a lot of effort, but still the result is not going your favor. So in those times, how you are going to overcome those things, that will really build your character and which will help you in the upcoming life. So emotional intelligence is one thing that will also build, provided when it doesn't happen naturally, I have to put a a concise efforts towards building that.
Okay. So what were those concise effects you like efforts which you put in to build the emotional intelligence aspect of yours?
Okay, ma'am. If I were to break down emotional intelligence as quoted by Daniel Goleman, it comprises of 5 elements. First is self-regulation. Okay. The second is self-awareness. The third is self-motivation. Fourth is empathy. Fifth is social skills. So when it comes to all the emotions that you mentioned, the vulnerability, anxiety, and all. So first of all, you have to be self-aware what you are going through. Then these are all, if you look at the emotional scale, these are called as negative emotions. So you have to regulate the second aspect, self regulation. You have to regulate yourself. Say if you're not feeling good, you just go meet your friends, take a walk in the park, which makes you feel better. So the idea is to move from a negative emotions to a neutral state. Then these are just temporary at that point of time, and as you start to feel better, you'll automatically start focusing on your goal. And the third component is self motivation. You have to keep yourself self driven. I think that is the key component in this entire preparation. So then you have to be also empathetic to yourself, that you are putting in a lot of effort. It's obvious things don't go your way. You have to be kind and appreciate the fact that you are doing a lot. So these, if you are able to follow these elements, automatically you will tend to do better and just be in the present. I would rather say, not think a lot about the future.
Okay. Now, when I was introducing you and I told you that when I told the audience that right mindset is something which defines you, so I told that in two aspects. One is regarding how you maintain yourself, how you maintain a positive aspect towards the life, towards the preparation, towards the hardships. The second aspect was how do you maintain the right mindset towards the paper, towards
Okay.
the exam, because you were targeting so many exams together. What was the mindset you were having? How to tackle a particular exam? During the preparation also, and during those 2 hours of writing that exam also. So
Okay.
what used to be your mindset at that particular time?
Ma'am, when it comes to writing exam, see, first of all, I had already taken a lot of mocks in the past, which helped me have a right mindset in to regard to the exam temperament that I need to have. So when it comes to writing exams, taking that 2 hour exam, I would rather, if I were to dig deeper in that, I think no one can really help you, because no matter how much, even if God comes and gives you that wisdom, or because ultimately you have to go and take that exam. So you have to sit and take those practice mocks. Only then it will happen. I would like to quote here Gautam Buddha. He says, "Apo Deepo Bhava," which means be light unto yourself. I mean, you are light unto yourself. Only you are the source of light to yourself. If there is someone who can really change your life, it is you. So you have to take that action, sit, do the mocks, overcome that lacunae, what are your shortcomings in the paper, try to fill those gaps, and you try to do better in the upcoming mocks. Only then you will be able to do well. And this is not a rocket science. I think with practice anyone can do it.
Okay, I want you to elaborate it a little bit with some examples, like how you started, what were the lacunae there,
Okay.
and how you wrote the mocks, and how you were able to improve, so that students are more able to relate to it and they
Yeah,
can more
sure, ma'am.
imbibe it.
Like as I had already appeared in NABARD mains in the year 2021, I missed out in the mains. So if I were to break down my mains mark, see, out of 100 marks in English, I had scored 58, which was a decent mark. And out of 100 marks, which is further broken down into objective component and subjective component of 50 marks each. In subjective component, my score was decent again, 38. It was in the objective component that I had a very low score. Say out of 50, I had scored only 17. And few of my friends who made that year, my score was on par with them in the other section, but my objective score was very less. It was only 17. Their score was in the range of 30 plus. So when I was taking the NABARD this year examination, I realized what exactly my mistakes were. So if I were to break down, within 30 minutes, you have to answer 30 questions in phase 2. Okay, so last time I could not find enough time. I was just still scrolling through the question or going through the question. The time had got over. So but this time I had made a mental preparation that when it comes to the passages, there's no point reading over the passages, because simply you waste reading time in the passages. Say there are 4 passages or 5 passages which will cover 22 marker question. If I waste 10 minutes in that only, then I am left with very small short time, say 20 minutes, to answer remaining question. So my strategy was, I will quickly wrap up the 1 marker question within 3 to 4 minutes. Then rest of the time I would go through the questions, and if I feel there is a need, only then I will go through the passage. So this way I was able to strategize before the exam, and this way I was able to go through all 30 questions twice in the exam hall. So I could make the certain changes if there was a need in the at the last moment. So this element, I think it has helped only through my work experience in the past, that what was lacking, how I need to think a lot on the question, not read the passage, because passage is there just to confuse you. So this is my perspective. Don't get confused. You will have your own strategy. So this has worked for me. It doesn't mean that it necessarily has to work for every other student. So you have to form your own strategy, but time management is a very critical component that I think is important. People should dig deeper on that aspect.
Yeah. So, in the beginning, I talked about 3 things: right mindset, right guidance, and right preparation. So, right mindset we have discussed, and through this right mindset, he has also explained the right guidance, because sometimes a lot of students, they keep on asking questions from different teachers. Some days watching this video, that video, but once you have gathered the basic knowledge, how to prepare, how to approach, all these things will come from inside. Whenever you are practicing, whenever you are reading, you have to see where are you lacking, where you can improve. Only that can give you the answer. Be it me or be it any other mentor, we can give you only a generalized answer, that do this, do that, but your circumstance, your IQ level, your emotional level. Only you will be able to manage how to do it in a good enough manner. So sir pointed out that in a very good manner, that you have to do the practice. You have to make that effort towards self awareness. What are your strengths, what are your weaknesses in the exam? Now let's talk about the third pillar, which is the right preparation. So you started your preparation for NABARD in 2021. That was the first time when you...
Prior to that also I had appeared.
Okay, in
2020. I could not clear phase 1 back then.
Okay.
So this was my 4th NABARD attempt. In very first attempt of 2020, I could not clear phase 1. In next attempt 2021, when the pattern changed to descriptive examination, I reached till mains. In 2022, again I could not clear phase 1. In 2023, I did not appear for the examination. In 2024, this was my 4th attempt.
Okay. So, like how you covered, like let's talk about how you covered each and different elements of this exam. So now let's talk about the phase 1 first.
Okay.
So in the phase 1 examination, how you covered the non-merit section? Did you put in any other extra effort, or your preparation of RBI, SEBI helped you here?
Ma'am, again, to be very honest, I just went into the exam hall in the morning. 10 o'clock was the exam, I guess. So I just went with a fresh mindset, because that at that point of time I was also appearing for UPSC Civil Service. So I did not find much time to prepare. So I just went. I had already filled the form. I just went there and wrote the exam, and I was able to clear it. Again, here people should not get misguided, because it just happened with me. It doesn't mean that I did not put in the efforts. So back then, in 2020, when I was writing the exam, preparing solely for NABARD, I had given so many mocks. So as I was also appearing for RBI, I wrote 3 mains. So my aptitude section was already strong enough. So I did not have to worry much about it. And when it comes to ARD, I had to bridge in a lot of knowledge with regard to ARD section. So I had followed EduTap in my very first attempt in 2019. So I had put my heart and soul there when it did not happen. But that doesn't mean that I forget everything. There is always a residual memory that stays back. So in next attempt of 2021, I also gave the mocks. That is, again, the pattern changed. They came up with non-merit section. As I said, my aptitude was almost strong, so I did not have to worry much. I just had gone through GA, ESI, and ARD of EduTap notes back then. So then that was it. And this year I did not do much for phase 1.
Okay, so through your residual memory and through the preparation which you have done previously, you managed to clear the phase 1 examination this time. So let's talk about the sources even then.
Sure.
That the sources you followed for the GA, for ESI, and for ARD. Please tell our viewers one by one.
Ma'am, for ESI and ARD, if you look at the syllabus, I had followed EduTap in the past, and they were my conventional sources. As I also prepared for UPSC, so I did not have to worry much about ESI. So economics and social issues was already covered, but for ARD, I had relied because those notes were really good, and I had covered from that section, that is from EduTap. And when it comes to GA, yeah, I followed multiple sources. I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos here randomly, which used to cater to the demand of exams. So that was my source for phase 1 of GA, ESI and ARD.
Okay. Now, as you mentioned a very important word which caters to the demand of the exam. So,
Yeah.
how you analyze this demand of examination and what, according to you, is the exact demand of this examination, uh, especially pertaining to the GA?
Okay. Ma'am, to be very honest, I cannot really tell what is the demand of the exam because every year the demand of exam is evolving.
Okay.
It has to, students also have to catch up with that evolving nature of the exam. But having written the exam myself, I knew what are the questions they are asking in the past. So any video that is, being, showcased in the YouTube, if it is, they are addressing or catering to that nature of questions, then I used to follow that and also bit of reading here and there. And the nature of exam is really evolving at a very fast pace. It is difficult to predict what is the question that, so I would also be very humble and accept the fact that, luck played along my way in this very attempt. So that was the thing.
Okay. Now, I want to ask one more thing here. What was your exam attempting strategy? How many questions you used to attempt in the phase 1 exam?
Ma'am, I usually attempt 95 plus. I think this year also I attempted 96 or 97 out
This
of
is
100 merit section.
Merit section. Out
Yeah.
of 100, you used to attempt 95, 96 questions.
हाँ.
Okay. So, आपको वो सारे क्वेश्चंस आते होते थे या कुछ गेस वर्क भी होता था?
जैसे ऑब्वियसली इतनी साल की रीडिंग हो रखी है तो ESI ARD में हार्डली हाफ ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस आई यूज्ड टू नो, रेस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस आई यूज्ड टू टेक कैलकुलेटेड गेसेस. और GA में तो इस बार बहुत ही टफ था. फिर भी एक बार एक आइडिया लग जाता है कि क्वेश्चन देखते देखते इसका आंसर ये हो सकता है. तो मोस्ट ऑफ देम आई वुड से इट वाज कैलकुलेटेड गेसेस.
Okay, now for our viewers, I want to ask you, how do you get this idea? The way you said ना कि आइडिया लग जाता है, तो ये आइडिया कैसे लगता है?
ओके. अगेन सी ये आइडिया हार्ड वर्क और प्रिपरेशन से लग जाता है. अगेन इफ आई वर टू कोट एन एनालॉजी, इट बिकम्स ईजियर फॉर द व्यूअर्स to understand. For example, if you take the analogy of a cricketer, he goes and plays the match, say be it, that would be one day match on the international scene every, maybe once in 10 days whenever the match is scheduled. But behind the scenes he does a lot of net practice, so that when he's playing in the real match, when the ball comes, there is already muscle memory built in. He won't think much that I have to hit like this, and so suddenly the instinct kicks in that whatever the ball be, the automatically instinct kicks in, and with the amount of practice that he has done behind the scenes, the muscle memory is already built. So then the player automatically plays that shot. So similarly, when there is no exam, you are doing a lot of practice behind the scene before the original exam. You are taking so many mocks. So with that reading and with those attempting those mocks, the muscle memory builds in. So that memory really kicks in, because in exam hardly within 2 hours you have to cater to so many sections. Within fraction of seconds you have to take that call. So magic doesn't happen in the exam hall. It is years of preparation that has gone behind the before the examination that really kicks in at that moment.
Okay. Now, I want to ask one more question. You used to attempt the merit section first or the non-merit section first?
I used to attempt the merit section first, ma'am.
Okay, and afterwards the
After
non-merit
non-merit.
section. Okay. Now, we have discussed most of the things about the phase 1. Now, let's talk about the phase 2 exam.
Sure.
So, in the phase 2 exam, I think as far as the descriptive English and your descriptive ESI and
Yeah.
ARD are concerned, they must have been covered through the years of civil services preparation.
Haan.
So that is the preparation you have utilized here. Now coming to the fodder material, since you have referred to the EduTap's material for your ESI and ARD preparation, so have you also referred to the EduTap's fodder material also for your descriptive preparation?
No, ma'am. As I had already appeared for civil services, I knew exactly what had to be done in the descriptive component. So I did not worry much about the descriptive component. So I had referred to EduTap material for the static component.
Okay.
If I were to mention for objective component, I had followed Clarity Sir's notes or mock tests.
Okay, okay. Yeah, and you are free to mention any sources which
Sure,
you
sure.
have followed. No foundations here. All right. So that is how you practiced for your phase 2.
Yeah.
One question I missed here. How many mocks you gave for phase 1 exam and for the phase 2 exam?
If you ask me, in this particular attempt, I have given 0, man. Again, that would be misguiding to students. It doesn't mean with 0 mocks you can go and clear the exam. I had already done a lot of practice in the past itself. Like, I used to give a lot of mocks, say 10, 15. I don't remember the exact number, but I had given so many mocks. So because of which I exactly knew what had to be done this time. So this time I did not give any mocks.
Okay. Now coming to the interview preparation, how you started your interview preparations and what were the different pillars into this preparation?
Okay. So again, here when it comes to interview preparation, I had gone through the videos that were posted by EduTap itself. So they first mentioned that you have to go through the website, you have to go through the annual report, then you have to go through the various schemes, popular schemes. I had also gone through the previous year toppers and interview transcripts, say of 3 to 4 years. Okay, which was very consuming task, but I did go through all of them, and I had prepared my own answers. Thinking I was the candidate and what I would be answering in the real exam hall. So, and I also, there was a friend from horticulture who was appearing for interview this time in the horticulture department. So I used to prepare with him. We used to have a long discussions regarding various agricultural issues. And since he was also from Karnataka, so we could also cover up our state, home state, and whatever was the need. So that I think that element of having a peer preparation simultaneously, that also played a crucial role.
Okay. One thing I want to ask you, that when it comes to preparation, especially the students who have gap years like after their graduation, they have this doubt that how will we face the interview board with long gap years. So did you also had that fear in your mind, and how do you overcome that?
Yeah, I also had that fear, ma'am. Then I was speaking to various people, because when you are preparing, you talk to people who are already in the service, be it in just not in NABARD, who are also in other services, and taking the guidance from the other mentors. Then they told it's okay. The gap years are normalized. It's very okay to have this gap year. So I also accepted the fact that it's okay. Then I did not bother much about simply because now it has already happened. I can't really go and change it. So I accepted the fact and I started thinking, so what can be my justification? Then, as I already also had mentioned, that I was preparing for civil services, hence this gap. So I had normalized it and I accepted it, and even they did not question a lot on this aspect. And I think this is also accepted fact that many people do come here with a gap, so that is not an issue at all. So if that is not an issue, then what's the point of bothering about it?
Yeah, correct. Now, one thing I want to ask you, that this was a long journey, and of course, somebody must have supported you. So, what was like, who was your support system throughout this preparation, which made this 9 years of hard journey sustainable and bearable for you?
Ma'am, if I were to mention, the first name that comes to my mind is my dad. He has been a very crucial pillar behind my entire journey, and it is because of him that I was able to achieve this, and I'm able to give this interview before you. So I think it is clearly my
Any
dad.
particular instance?
And when like every setback, I reached till my state service interview, I could not clear. Then he provided that emotional support. It's okay, then you have to carry on. The last year when I was not working, I had given up my job also. Then I could not clear my forest services main. That was quite disappointing. I was really hurt, then thinking what to do now. And then he said, it's okay, you just go ahead, give it once more, maybe you will get it. So I think then at that point of time, I thought maybe this is an end. Then only now I can realize it was not an end. It was just a bend in my career. So these are few instances where he has supported me, and he has done that throughout my journey.
Okay, and anybody apart from him?
The family support was obviously there, like my mother, my father, as I mentioned. These are the two people, and I was self-driven as well.
Okay. So now, when you have actually cleared this exam, so like we have talked about so many learnings, but if you have to go back and tell your younger self something, you have to say something to your younger self, what would be that?
Okay, the mistake, I would sum up all the learnings with regard to various different examinations. Like if I look at my mistakes with regard to civil service examination, I did not really go through the previous year questions. I think ultimately, I would like to use an example here and explain my point. So I was once listening to foreign ambassador, of India, who was posted in USA. So the people around there in USA, they wanted to get the visa to India. Then they were trying through a broker. Then once they approached this foreign ambassador, they told these people from USA told this foreign ambassador that it's quite difficult to get a USA Indian visa. Then he said, why? What exactly happened? They asked this detail, that detail, these documents and all. Then the foreign ambassador told, if you are going through a middle person, say that is broker, have you ever yourself personally visited the website firsthand? Then these people said no. If you have to go and see. They're asking just few documents. If you directly apply it, it is a very simple task. But the middleman, had really confused what exactly was the process. So I also thought, like there are so many people, they are giving, everyone has their own experiences, they are sharing their, but I would mention it to all the people that you have your own experience, you create those experiences. So the coming back to the reason why I mentioned this story is that you yourself, if I was given the task, given an option what I could correct going back in the past, I relied on many other people, be it my friends, many other people in journey. Then I was trying to follow their advices or suggestion, but I never really went and checked the PYQs of the examination, which is the glaring mistake. I would not call a mistake, a blunder itself, because whatever exams you are trying to appear for, you have to go and look at the PYQs. They are the best source of information you can get with regard to any source of any exam that you are preparing for. I think one has to go see the previous year questions, then automatically you understand what is the demand of examination, then you prepare simultaneously along that.
Okay. Now I want to ask one other question. What was the biggest sacrifice you have made for this exam or throughout this journey?
Okay, sacrifice. Ma'am, if I were to think, like when you are preparing for so long, there are many thoughts. Human mind goes through, it carries many thoughts. So at that point of time, I was like going through, I could have gone and gone ahead with the job, earned a lot of money, and all that. Those were the thoughts at that point of time. But if you ask me this question today, I would not call it's a sacrifice. I don't think I have done any sacrifice. I think I really enjoy this journey and cherish this journey, because if it were not for this experiences, rich experience, I would not have become what I am. This journey or experiences have really sculpted my personality in a far better manner, because of which I am able to conduct myself in a better manner. Had this not been this journey, I would not have been what I am. So I don't think I've made any sacrifice. Rather, I'm grateful for the entire journey.
Okay. And what your routine used to look like on a daily basis, because you are doing yoga also, you are focusing on the self-discovery and all the things you mentioned.
Okay.
So what used to be your daily routine like?
Ma'am, I used to wake up around 5:30, then go to yoga class from 6:30 to 7:30, come back, prepare and study for 3 hours, have lunch, study for 3 hours. Maybe in the evening, I used to go take a walk in the park, then come back, study. If I feel like studying, I used to study or watch some videos which pertain to my interest, then go to bed.
Okay. At what time you used to go to bed?
By 10, I used to hit the bed.
Okay, fine. Okay, so that was the entire interview. So if you want to say some parting words to our viewers, that would be very nice.
So if I think everyone has their journey, and everyone, what I have realized is life is ultra personal journey. Everyone will have their own learnings through their own experiences. So do not try to compare with some other people and then feel demotivated and simply waste your time. So you have your own journey, it will happen whenever it is meant to happen. So just keep whatever is within your control, that is preparation, working on yourself, working on career aspect. Results are not in your control. Just be in the present and keep preparing. Do not worry about the results. That I would rather say.
Okay, so that was a very insightful interview. You shared your journey. Thank you so much for that. And I hope from this entire interview, you all have learned a lot of things about the mindset, about the guidance, and about the preparation. So on this note, I'm ending this session here. Thank you so much.